Hello scholars and welcome to Fun Scholar Academy. So in the last class we have learned about fractions and today we are starting to discuss about the decimals. Okay. So first of all tell me what are the decimals. Someone maybe say that this point is the decimal. Yes, this is right. We can write some numbers succeeding and preceding by this point and that number will be called as a decimal number. Okay, and decimal number is also a rational number because this can also be turned into p by q form. Okay, and we already know that every fraction is also a rational number. So from this we can tell that every fractions can be turned into a decimal number, and here we will discuss the operations and all the processes that how can we solve the decimal numbers. Okay, and decimal numbers or decimal, they both are the same things and I don't need to explain them as well, you guys already know that. Okay, so here in the first example we can see that it's a 3-digit number which is 4, 6 and 2, and already we know from the class 4 that this number has a place value. This is in the unit, this is in the 10th, and this is in the hundredths. Okay, so this goes for the all kind of whole numbers. But what about the decimal numbers, or what about the pointed numbers, or what about the fractions? They all follows the same rule of place value system as well. Just like in this case, this is also 462 is being written and preceded by point 351. So we can just simply simplify this number as like this: 4 into 100 plus 6 into 10 plus 2 into 1. Okay, and but what about the other numbers which goes after that? That means 3, 5 and 1. So 3 can be written as just like this: 1 by 10 plus 5 can be written as like 1 by 100, and 1 can be written as like 1 into 1 by 1000. And just like in the cases of whole numbers, we can tell that 4 is in the 100th place, 6 is in the 10th place and 2 is in the 1's place. Is the similar kind of, we can tell that 3 is in the 10th place and 5 is in the 100th place and 1 is in the 1000th place. Okay, so you may ask me that what are the differences between these two. You can see that this is, one is written 100 and this is written as like 100, and they are adding T and H with it. Okay, so it is becoming 100th. Okay, so we all know that every fraction can be turned into a decimal number, and it is easier when the denominator has zeros in it. Okay, so here we can see that here is a 2 zeros, so we can just simply turn this fraction into decimal just by taking point in the last place, and then you can imagine taking this point 2 digits earlier. Okay, सिंपली ऐसा सोचिए कि जैसे मैं अगर ये लिखूं 89 बाई 1000, आप लोग सोचिए कि पॉइंट इसके एंड में है, इमेजिन कीजिए, और यहाँ पर 3 जीरोस हैं, तो फिर ये पॉइंट उठकर पहले यहाँ आएगा, फिर यहाँ आएगा और कुछ भी नहीं है, तो इसके लिए हम लोग इसको एक ज़ीरो इमेजिन कर लेंगे और इसके आगे आएगा. और पॉइंट के आगे हम लोग जनरली एक ज़ीरो लगाते हैं, क्योंकि इसका दो रीज़न होता है। एक, ताकि पॉइंट नज़र में आए, और कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि पॉइंट इस तरफ गिर नहीं जाए। समझ गए? तो ऐसे हम लोग जब नीचे ज़ीरोज़ होते हैं तब इसी तरह फ्रैक्शंस को हम लोग डेसिमल में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं, या फिर डेसिमल को भी ऐसे ही हम लोग फ्रैक्शंस में भी कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं। जैसे कि यही सेम चीज़ अगर मैं आपको डेसिमल में दिया होता, सो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, जस्ट राइट द नंबर्स ओनली, डोंट राइट द zeros, okay, and put 1 for this point and then put 3 zeros after that one. Okay, this is the easiest method to turn any fraction into a decimal and any decimal into a fraction. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, different types of decimal fractions. Okay, so here you can see that there are so many kind of decimals, and two words mean to be focused, that is likely and unlikely. Okay, and about likely and unlikely term we have learned it already in algebra and even in the fractions. अगर fractions में डिनोमिनेटर्स सेम होते हैं तब हम लोग उसको कहते हैं कि दे आर लाइकी फ्रैक्शंस। ओके, अगर अलजेब्रा में अगर वेरिएबल्स सेम होते हैं तो हम लोग उसको कह सकते हैं कि दे आर लाइकी टर्म्स। दिस सेम केस गोज फॉर द डेसिमल्स एज वेल। इफ देयर आर आफ्टर द पॉइंट द नंबर, the counting of the numbers are the same, so then they can be called as the likely decimal number. Okay, and if they are not same, then they are unlikely decimal terms. Okay, जैसे कि आप लोग देखिए in these three numbers has two numbers after the point, so they are likely fractions, and here they don't have any similarity. One is 2, one has 2 numbers after the point, one has 3 numbers after the point, and one has 4 numbers after the point. So they don't have nothing in similar, so that's why they will be called as the unlikely fractions. Okay, next one. Okay, different types of decimal fractions convert unlikely to likely. So what we can do, we can turn any unlikely fractions into a likely fraction, just like if I write these two fractions, 4.55 and another is 4.5. Yes, you can tell me that they both are the unlikely fractions. Why? Because it has two numbers after the point and it has only one number. But in the decimal chapter, we can turn these unlikely fractions into a likely fraction by what? By adding just one zero after that. Okay, just like they have did it here. Okay, why? Because 0 is free. Just remember that 0 is free after any kind of point, cause you may have already knew that 0 doesn't have any value after the point. Okay, the next one, different types of decimal fractions. Okay, now we can also learn about that how can we turn unlikely to like, and they have did it here also. We can also transform likely fraction to unlikely fraction by what? By the same process. If here is two numbers or two decimal numbers where they are already in the likely form, so we can just turn them unlikely by just putting a 0 after that. Okay, now it has become an unlikely. We can turn it into again likely fractions, but by just adding 1 0 after that. Okay, so next one. Now we have to compare two fractions to make it likely or unlikely. Okay. Now we can just compare decimal fractions from unlike to like fractions. Okay. So in comparison, what we are using? Some integral parts. Compare 10th if same, compare 100th if same, and compare 1000th if same. And then we will differentiate the integral part to make it greater to bigger. Okay. That doesn't understand it? Okay. Let's do it with some examples. Just like this one. You can see that it has 3 numbers after the point, and this is also has 3 numbers after the point. Okay. So when we are comparing it, we will just have to see that what are the similarities between these 2 numbers. You can see that 59 are the same, 59 is same, point is after 2 numbers, point is after 2 numbers, 2 is the same, 2 is same, 7 are also same, but only thing the different is that 5 and 4, and we know that 5 is bigger than 4, so we can tell that these number will be bigger than the previous one. Okay. Next one. Okay. So here we will convert decimal into a fraction, which I have talked it about earlier. So write 0.037 as a fraction. Okay, so writing it, what we have to do? We have to just first write down this number. Then what do you do? Just for this point put 1. Okay, and how many numbers are here after the point? There are 3 numbers. So we will put 30 after it, and then we will remove the point. Write it again. So before any number, 0 does not have any value. So it will be like 37 by 1000. Okay. So this will be the final answer, and it is pretty much easy process. And we already discussed it about in the fractions chapter, that numerator means a numerator which stays in the upper side of any fraction, and denominator is which stays in the lower side of any fractions. Okay, and what we are doing, we are removing without any decimal point. That means that we are removing the decimal from the numerator, and what we are doing, we are just adding zeros after 1 in the denominator position. Okay. Next one, yes, they did just same thing in this case also. But what we have to do, or what do we do, like if you are asked to make this fraction as a decimal, what you have to do? You have to just divide 2 with 5, and to divide it, what we generally do, we take, first you have to take a 0, then take a point. Okay, and for this point we will get a 0 free. Okay, I am writing it here. We get 0 free. Then you have to use the tables of 5, and we know that 5 4s are 20, so it will be 4, and 0.4 will be the answer. Okay, and they have did a little hard one in this case. Yes, this calculation would be a little bigger than this one. So 9 by 16 they have did it like this. Okay, and it has another example, that 1 by 3 to decimal. So 1 by 3, and you maybe haven't heard it, that dividing anything with 3, 9, 11. So these turns out to be a recurring fractions. Okay, this also has some examples in this presentation as well, and we are going to see it later. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, division of decimal numbers. So just like the turning it decimal number into fractions, we can also use division, or we can also use the place value system to divide any decimal number. Okay, division by 10, 100 and 1000. So if we have to divide a decimal number with 10, you can just write it like this. Okay, for division the by sign automatically comes up, and then what you have to do, just take the point and keep the point one place previous. Why? Because it has only 1 0, and for this 1 0 this point will take a place earlier. Okay, and it will become 0.23, and because point is alone in the first place, so we will write a 0 before it. Okay, just the same way that, so that point gir nahi jaye. Okay, and they have also did the same thing, but you can do it in easy process like this, or you can use the previous fractional method to find it. Yes, they have did it like this. You can also did it like this, like 23, right? 23 by 10, which is divided by 10, and then you can flip the 10 by writing 1 by 10, then multiply it, and again in the last place you have to do the same thing. What? Placing the point 2 digits earlier. Okay, so this one is a little laborious way to do it, but you can also do this in the just placing the point 1 digit earlier. Okay, next, in the above case we can observe when we are dividing, the decimal point shift to 1 decimal towards left from where it was initially. Just we have did it, just we are doing it like showing you this, but you don't have to show it in your copy or in your final paper. Okay, let's see another example, like 3.4 divided by 1000. Okay, they have also did this one just by doing like this, but you don't have to do it like this. You can, here you also can use this method. Just it has three zeros, and we have 1 point in between two digits or two numbers. So what we have to do, we will just take the point and keep it 3 points earlier. For this 1 point here is a 0, for this 1 point here is a 0, and for this point also here is a 0, and the final answer will be, this point will reside here, and it will give us the answer like 0.00034. This is the quick way. Okay, or else you can do it like this. Okay, what they are doing, they are taking 3.4 by 1000 and they are writing 3.4 as 34 into 10 and dividing it with 1000, and the 1000 will be 1 by 1000, and this division will turn into a multiplication, and then we will have to multiply it and then we have to do the same process. So after doing all these kind of things and doing the same process, it's better to stick to the previous one and do it in a little bit mentally and write down the answer easily. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, let's see another example. Yes, you can see it from here. They have just taken from the downside and I was just explaining this from the upside, and both are the same. Okay, let's see another example. 11.28 into 12.5. Ignoring the decimal points, multiply the numbers first. Okay, so you don't have to think about or worry about the decimals or the points. Okay, you have what you have to do, you just have to multiply the numbers first. Okay, so they have did it first here. 11.28 into 12.5 can be written as 1128 into 125, and the multiplication will give us the value will give us the value 141000. Now count the total numbers of the digits after the decimal point of each number, that is 2 plus 1 digit. Okay, so how you can do it? Just try to counting the numbers from the end side or the right side, whichever you think right is. Okay, we will start counting from this side. Okay, so one number is last and the point is before that one number, so it will be 1, and here there are two numbers after the point, so this is 2. Okay, so total they are making 3 numbers, so we will just write the numbers keeping a little bit space between them, and then we will put the point by counting from the last to the numbers. Okay, so from if we count from the last to the numbers, so 3 numbers will be the first one here, here and here, so the point will stay here. Okay, so we know that after points 0 has not any value and point doesn't stay point doesn't stay in the end alone, so we will also remove the point and 141 will be the answer. Okay, just like they have did it here. But if you want to write it like this, you can also write it down like this, and examiner won't take away any numbers. Okay. The next one, how do we add decimal fractions? Okay, before going to the adding any kind of fractions, let's watch a video here. So what did we have learned from it here? We are going to explain by the video. Okay, watch the conversion of decimal number from a fraction. Okay.
All we have to do is divide 6 by 8. We can say that in the
Okay, so the video just have explained that how we operate in the divisional way. Okay, and it takes a little practice, so you guys can practice in your home. Now we will go to the next topic, that is adding or addition of decimal fractions. Okay, here the given question is 24.15 and 2.008. Okay, and what we have to check first, that is these fractions are like fractions or not. Okay, so place vertically and add. This is the simple funda about it. Okay, so we have to turn this into a like terms. Okay, so 24.15, if we write it like vertically, so it will be like this. So okay, this is addition. This one is quite simple, but what about this place? Okay, you may be thinking that what about this place? Okay, we can just add 0 in this space to make it a like decimal fraction. Okay, and then you can just add it like 8 plus 0 gives us 8, 5 plus 0 5, 1 plus 0 1. Point will be here stayed like this, and then 4 plus 2 will give us 6, and then 2. Okay, simply just like this. So got it about addition. Okay, next one. Now what about the subtractions? Okay, be careful with the subtractions, because subtractions, to do subtractions we have to keep in mind two things. That is, we generally write, yes, first one is we have to place or write down numbers vertically here as well, just like from the addition. Okay, and then we have to subtract it. But what about division, subtraction? That we generally know that we subtract from the bigger number to the smaller numbers. Okay, we subtract 2 from 12, not 12 from 2. Yes, this will give us a negative integer. Okay, and in decimals we generally, I mean, as per your syllabus, your syllabus doesn't contains the negative decimals. Okay, so try to be a little careful and write bigger numbers first. Like here we have 3.5601 and 12.2. Someone, you may be thinking that this one is bigger number just by seeing that this number is this number has 1 2 3 4 5 digits. So but this is not true actually, because 3 is always smaller than 12. So 12 will be the bigger number here, and it has point after 3 and point after 12. So we will try to understand that which one is bigger just from seeing the numbers before the points. Okay, so here 12 is the bigger number, so just write 12.2 and then write 3.5601, and just like the similar from the previous case, we will just add zeros to the empty spaces to make it a like fraction. Okay, now 1 and 0 it will be 9, 1 in hand, 1 and 0 it will be 9, again 1 in hand, 6 plus 1 will be 7, 7 and 0 it will be 3, again 1 in hand, 5 and 6, 6 and this will be 12, 6, again 1 in hand, 3 and 4, 8 will be here. So answer will be 8.6399. Okay, you guys generally do subtraction by like taking a cross and thinking as 1 0 and whatever. You can do the same process, but I have already did this process. Don't try to replicate me, do it your own way. Okay. Okay, the next one, this is another question is given, like subtract 65 km 23 meter from 125 km 443 meter. Okay, so this is for your home task, but I am just letting you know that you can just write it down like this, like 125 kilometer and 243 meters. We know that 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter. Okay, so you can just, if you just add this 195 into 1000 and then add 243 with it, 195,000 plus 243, so it will be like 195,243 meters. Okay, but just try to look at it carefully, that we can just write this number like this. Okay, because just think that it has a point in the end of it, and then add these two numbers. Okay, and then again by going by the same process, we can write 65 km and 23 meters also like this, and then we can just add this and putting a 0 in the empty place. Okay, got it? In your books, these type of sums are also given in your books, so you can practice it carefully, or let me know in the comment section the answers. Okay. Now about decimal numbers, and here we are going to learn about that how can we place decimal numbers in the number line. Okay, can you tell me how many numbers can I insert between 0 to 1? Let's visualize through a number line. Okay, so just like in the rational numbers case, or you have already learned about the rational numbers, that from the rational numbers we have learned that there are so many numbers in between any two rational numbers. Okay, if this is a number line where 0 is lying here, 1 is lying here, 2 is lying here, and this goes on. So there will be infinite numbers between any two rational numbers. Okay, and talking about fractions, I have told it in the beginning that every fraction is also a rational number and every decimal number is also a rational number. So from these two logic, just try to visualize that there will be infinite number of rational numbers, or infinite number of fractions, or infinite number of decimal numbers in between any two numbers. Like they have just wrote it like this, that from 0 to 1 we are having 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 9, but yes, 0.11 will also be here, 0.01 will also be here, and 0.0001 will also stay here. So from 0 to 1 there will also be infinite decimal numbers. Okay, so they have just draw it like this, but you can just imagine from the number line, by imagining a number line in your head, and then you can place it any kind of number in between them. Okay, so I divided the interval between 0 and 1 into 10 equal parts. Okay, so they have asked you that how many numbers can be there. Okay, you can tell me that you can tell that there can be 1 number, there can be 10 numbers, there can be 100 numbers, there can be 1000, lakh, crore, arab, whatever. Okay, but there will be infinite number. If you are thinking there is 1 number, there will be 1. If you are thinking there are 10 numbers, there will be 10. What you have to do, you have to just separate this part into 10, 20, 25, whatever you are liking it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, the shades, the shaded part represent 1 by 10 equals to 0.1 means one part from the 10 equal parts. Okay, so just like from the last day, I have tried to explain it with the help of the blocks, that how we can represent fractions from this. Okay, again today I will try to do it like just take, I'm just taking 3 blocks. Okay, so just like in the fractions, that if these 3 blocks are completing to make one block, then each block will represent 1 by 3. Okay, so if 3 blocks are making if we are taking 3 blocks to make one block, so each block will represent 1 by 3 as fractions. Just by the same logic, if I take 4 blocks, so then each block will represent 1 by 4. Okay, so each block is representing 1 by 4 in fractions. And now tell me, from the starting we have already learned that how can we turn a fraction into a decimal. The answer will be 0.25. okay, so each block will represent 0.25 decimal number or 0.25 decimal in this shaded or unshaded region. You can do it yourself in your home just by using some kind of block or taking lines in your any kind of copy. Okay, so this will also this will also act like a number line as well, just like you can see that from the previous one. In the previous example, we have draw a number line and then separated it with each part, and here they have also did it like this. Okay, so this is just an imaginary thing that to make you understand better about the decimal. Okay, go to the next one. Let me again divide 0.1 block into 10 equal parts. Now there are 100 equal parts and each part is equal to 1 by 100 or 0.01. Okay, so this is also given to make you understand it better with the blocks. Like here, each one, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it is also, so this square consists total 100 boxes, and if the value of each block is 1 by 100, so then the total value of this box will be 1. Okay, so they have just given this just to make you understand it better, a decimal a little bit better. But if you understood the fractions well, you can also, understand it as well. Okay, go to the next one. Okay, let us multiply two decimal numbers 0.3 and 0.2 pictorially. Okay, make 10 equal parts and take 3 parts of it which shows 3 by 10, and yes, 3 by 10 will represent 0.03, and then take 0.2 or 2/10 or 2/110 part of 0.3. Okay, so the answer will be 0.6. Why 0.6? Because before going it with the pictorial form, we can just multiply these numbers to make it 6, and it will be like this. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then it will be represented it like that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this picture represents 0.2 times of 0.3, which covers 6/10 parts, or we can say 6 part out of 100 equal parts. So the answer will be this. We have already done it in the normal numerical process, and they have done it like by drawing the squares and separating the squares into small boxes. Okay, let's go to the next one. So in multiplication of decimal numbers, 0.3 with 0.2, first ignore the decimal point and multiply both the numbers as a whole number. Yes, we have already done it like in the previous examples. Okay, so that means that just take 3 and 4, okay, or 0 3 and 0 2. So it will give us the value 6. Then count the decimal places that 2 digits have. They have, after point we are having 1 numbers, so 1 plus 1 will have 2 digits. So now shift 2 digits towards left of the product obtained. So the answer will be, so they will go from here to here. So the answer will be 0.06. Okay. The next one. Okay, now they have given you to do some sums. Okay, here we are having 3 sums. So I will try to do 1 or 2 here, and you can try all this in your home. Okay, so the first one is 0.9 into 0.0001. Okay, just simply multiply 9 and 1 and write this by keeping a little space. Okay, and why we are keeping the space? Because we will have to write the zeros in those spaces. Okay, so we have 1 2 3 4 and 5 numbers after the points total. Here we are having 4 and 8, here we are having 1. So 1 plus 4 will be 5. So we will have to take 1 2 3 4 5 number before 1 2 3 4 5 number before 9, and then we will have to write the point, and then add another 0 before the point so that point doesn't slips off. Okay, so the answer will be 0.00009. Okay, the side of an equilateral triangle is 4.2 meter. Find its perimeter. Okay, I hope you guys know the rule of the perimeter. Perimeter equilateral triangle means the triangle which has all the sides equal. Okay, so every side will be 4.2, 4.2 and 4.2. So the answer will be 12.6. You can just simply multiply it with 3, or can just add these 3 together. Okay, the answer will be 12.6 centimeter. The last one, you can do it in your home. Okay, you have to do just add multiply these 2 numbers, and then you have to add it with I have already written it, and just multiply this and place the points in the right place. Okay. The next one. Okay, answers are given. Don't watch the answers. Try to do it in your own behalf. The length of a rectangle is 7.1 centimeter and its breadth is 2.5 centimeter. What is the area of the rectangle? Okay, if a rectangle Let's think this is as a rectangle and its length will be 7.1 centimeter and the breadth will be 2.5 centimeter. Okay, and we know the area will be in between this all the thing, just like this. The area is the painted part. Okay, if this is representing a rectangle, so the area will be the total part of it, and we know the formula of the area is what? Length into breadth. So the answer will be 7.1 into 2.5. Just try to multiply this, so the answer will be maybe I am right. Yes, 17.75. And one thing to remember, that in the unit of any area we have to write this in the square format. Okay, so it will be like centimeter square or square centimeter. Okay, so this will be the answer. So 17.75. Okay, let's see it. Yes, 17.75 centimeter square. Okay, the next one, multiplication of decimal numbers by 10, 100 and 1000. Yes, we have discussed it in the previous slides. So let's go. How we can observe that the denominator of fraction depends on the number of decimal places. Okay, we know that already. So let's multiply 3.5 with 10. Okay, so if we multiply 3.5 with 10, so what we do in multiplication, we just multiply the numbers and then place the point. So it will be 350 and the point will be placed by counting off one number from the last, and it will be here, placed here, and the point will get removed and 0 will get eliminated here. Okay, but if you want to do it mentally or do it in the one shot, so then what you have to do, like multiplying 3.5 into 10, just do one thing. In division we are just placing the points by counting of the zeros. Here you have to again do the same thing. You have to just place the point counting of the zeros, but in the right side. Okay, so it will be like this. What we have done, we just placed the point one side, one digit after that. Why? Because in 10 we are having just 1 0. So in multiplication we will have to do is just place the point after the 0. Okay, so let's do some more examples so that you can get to know it better. Okay, yes, they have also did this in the same. Let us find in 10 the number of 0 is 1, so shift the decimal point one step towards right, and we are doing it right here. We are doing it also here like this. Okay, and now try this. So these all you can try it in your home. Okay, let me do one, just like I am choosing this one. Okay, 3.62 multiplied by 100. So what will we have to do? We have to just take the point in the last position to make it right like this. Okay, so the answer will be 362. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, and yes, we also have divisions as well, and for the divisions I am again letting you remember that for division, what we do? We just shift the point earlier by counting of the zeros. Here we have 2 zeros, so we will have to shift the point 2 digits earlier from the previous place. So the point will go 1, 2 here. So the answer will be, this will be the answer. So the next one. Okay, so before going to the next one, again watch a video. So addition is done, division, okay, let's watch division, that how we operate division, so that you guys don't forget the previous topics.
We have seen how decimal numbers are very useful in our everyday life to represent numbers. Now, we may often come across a situation where we would need to divide a decimal number by a whole number. For example, suppose that Nora and Zeki bought popcorn for 12.96 rupees, and both of them decide to share the cost of the popcorn. To know how much each one of them has to contribute, we need to divide 12.96 by 2. But how do we divide a decimal number by a whole number? Let's understand. Suppose instead of 12.96 divided by 2, we had 1296 divided by 2, then there wouldn't be any doubt on how to divide it. It's 648, right? Simple. So, can you guess what am I coming at? Yes, we need to somehow get rid of this decimal point. And how do we do that? Yes, we will write 12.96 as 1296 by 100. Which means that now instead of 12.96, 1296 by 100 is to be divided by 2. We know that dividing a number by a fraction is the same as multiplying a number with the reciprocal of the fraction. There's no fraction in the denominator. Well, here 2 can be written as 2 by 1, and the reciprocal of 2 by 1 is 1 by 2. So instead of dividing 1296 by 100 with 2 by 1, we can multiply with 1 by 2. Now we can rearrange the numerators of the fractions as shown. This is equal to 648, and 648 divided by 100 is equal to 6.48. That is 12.96 divided by 2 is equal to 6.48. This makes our life easy. So Nora and Zeki have to contribute 6.48 rupees each. Now, what if we need to divide a decimal number by another decimal number? For example, 25.5 divided by 0.5. Can we use the same steps here? Sure, we can. We will get rid of the decimal points first. 25.5 is 255 by 10, and 0.5 is 5 by 10. Again, we know that dividing a number by a fraction is the same as multiplying the number with the reciprocal of the fraction. So instead of dividing 255 by 10 by 5 by 10, we simply multiply its reciprocal with 10 by 5. On cancelling 10 from the numerator and the denominator of the fractions, we get 255 by 5, which on dividing gives us 31. Hence, 25.5 divided by write in the denominator, we get the number as 5. Hence, directly in a single step, we reach the final division, which gives us the answer 51. Now, using the trick, how will you find 27 divided by 0.03? First, we will write 27 as 27.00 so that both the numerator and the denominator will have an equal number of decimal places. Then we will shift the decimal point to the right by 2 places in both the numerator and the denominator. Yay! Now there's no decimal point here. Finally, after dividing, we get the answer as 900. So that's how you divide a decimal number. We hope that you've enjoyed this video. To learn more about decimals and other interesting concepts, keep learning with Don't Memorize.
Okay, so we have learned about divisions from this video. So let's go further here. So division of a decimal number by a whole number. So here the example is being given that 3.4 divided by 2. So it is giving, so we will have to do just divide it like just the normal whole numbers, like divide it 34 divided by 2, it will be 1.7. Okay, and where does the points coming from? So just put the points, just counting the numbers. Okay, so from the last number we have just only one digit after the point, so we will have to put the point in between 1 and 7. Okay, so here we are also doing the same process by just putting the points in between two numbers. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, division of a decimal number by another decimal number. Divide 12.5 by 2.5. So the answer will be like this. Okay, so what they are doing, they are just removing all the points and putting all the zeros after 1 and writing it like this, and then they are just using cancellation to cancel out 10 and 10 and 25 with 125. So the answer will be 5. Okay, on another way, yes, let's see another example with a different trick. Okay, here convert them into likey decimals, can be written as like this, and now they are doing it like this. Okay, we can also do this by converting it into likey decimal, just like in this case 2.700 divided by 0.003. Okay, so it can be converted like this. Now when we also have same number of digits or equal digits after the point, so we can just remove the points here and then we can use cancellation to all this to make this like this. So 900 will be the answer. Okay, the next one, similarly we can also do these kind of operations for this as well, for these examples as well. You can also find so many examples from your book chapters, and you try to solve this in the same method or try to solve this in like this. Okay, yes, these are the sums, you can try it in your home. Okay, let me do one for you. So it will be 3.25 by 0.5. We can turn it into a likey fraction by putting 1 0 after it, then just use cancellation or write it again like this, then use the cancellation. So if we cancel it, by dividing it with 5. So the answer will be 10 and yes, so 65 by 10. So the answer will be 6.5. Okay, you can try with the rest of the questions just like this. Okay, now this one is simplify. Well, okay, simplify is what? Where we use addition, subtraction, multiplication and also division in the same questions. Okay, and it also consists brackets and all other things, like all kind of brackets. So here what we have to do, okay, because it is being because they are keeping it in the bracket, we can cancel out 144 by 12 and make it 12. Okay, so 1.44 into 12 minus 0.225. Okay, and from the Bodmash rule we know that we do multiplication operation first before doing the subtraction. So these will get first calculated. So the answer will be okay. It will be like this, and then the rest you can just solve it like this. Okay, and this one you can do it in your home. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Okay, yes, they have just did it like this. And did we done any mistake, converted it like decimal, and oh sorry, yes, we have done a mistakes in the previous one. You have to just put the points in between them. Okay, we haven't put it here, so you can just try it in yourself. And the next one, Isha scored 450 marks in 5 subjects in mathematics. She scored 1/5 of the total marks scored. Find the sum of the marks scored by her in the other subjects. So, in mathematics, she scored 1/5 of the total marks scored. Okay, so she scored total 450. Out of which 1/5 consists the marks of mathematics. So it will be 90 he is scoring in math. Okay, so 1/5, find the sum of the marks scored by her in the other subjects. So the rest will be like 5 minus 1 by 5. Oh sorry, the rest will be like 4 by 5. Okay, and so the rest of the marks will be 450 minus 90, and it will be 360. Okay, so this one will be the answer. The next one, yes, 360 is the answer. Next one, Simon can eat 3/4 of an apple in 1 minute. How many apples she can eat in 2 whole 2/3 minutes? Okay, so in 1 minute she eats 3/3 of an apple. So in 2 whole 2/3 minutes she will eat what? just multiply this one with this one. Okay, try to do it yourself and then the answer will be like this. Okay, 3 and 3 will get cancelled and 2 apples will be the answer. Okay, the next one, a bus was going on a journey. The bus travelled 35.7 kilometers in the first hour, 29.4 kilometers in the second hour and 33 kilometers in the third hour. What is the average distance travelled by the bus in an hour? Okay, so the bus is being running for like 3 hours. What you have to do, just add these 3 numbers and divide it with 3. Yes, they have just did it like this. Okay, the next one, the picture interpretations. Okay, the first picture is in 1 by 4 by 3. Okay, 3 into 3. Oh no, sorry. Here we are having 3 pictures which is interpreting us 1 by 4, 1 by 4 and 1 by 4. So the total will be 3 by 4. Just I have showed you by showing you the blocks. Okay, they are doing it like in the same process. Okay, this one is division and we have already done the hard divisions by like this. Okay, hard divisions just by like this. So go to the next one. There are 3 quarters, so sum of 3 quarters will be 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 or 3 into 1/4. So the option is 3 by 4. I mean C will be the correct answer. Okay, no, we have just just misplaced it with some other question. This one is a MCQ question. Okay, right. The next one, 4/5 of 5 kg apples were used on Monday. The next day 1/3 of what was left was used. Weight of apples left now is, okay, 4 by 5 of 5 kg of apples are used on Monday. So how many apples being used? That will be 4 kgs of apple. The next day 1/3 of what was left was used. So 1 kg is being left and 1/3 of 1 kg will be like 30 grams maybe. So let's watch it. Yes, 1/3 kg, and yes, if you convert it into decimal, the answer will be like 0.33 or something. So now the quantity of apple left will be 2/3 kg. Just subtract it from the previous one. Okay, the next one, 1 packet of biscuits requires 2 whole 1/2 cup of flour and 1 whole 2/3 of cup of sugar. Estimate total quantity of both ingredients used in 10 such packets of biscuits will be less than 30. Okay, this one is another MCQ question. 2/3 cup of flour and sugar. Okay, so just add them and multiply them with 10. So the answer will be, yes, they have added it and multiplied it with 10 and the answer will be 41.6. So the answer will be between 40 cups and 50 cups. Okay, yes, the answer is like this. The next one, if 2/3 of a number is 10, then what is 1.75 times of that number? Okay, 2/3 of a number means 10, so 1 of that number will be, if 2/3 of any number is 10, so 1 of any number will be what? 10 into 2/3, sorry, 3 2, because 3 will get flipped and the answer will be 15. Okay, so now they are talking for 1.75. So 1.75 can be turned into a fraction. And it will be 7 by 4. So we can also turn it into like 10 into 7 by 4, sorry, 15 into 7 by 4. So it will be like 26.25. Next, Rimu read 1/5 of the pages of a book. If she reads further 40 pages, she would have read 7/10 pages of the book. How many pages are left to be read? Okay. So what they are doing, 1/5 of the 1/5 pages of the book she is reading. So she read 40 pages of that book. Okay, so like this, similar in the previous from the previous one, 1/5 representing 40. So 1 will represent 40 into 5. So it will be like 200. It will be like 200. Okay, now they have done it like by taking it, making it a likely fractions. But if you do it, 1/5 will be 40. So 1 will represent 40 into 5. That means 200. Okay, and the 7/10 will represent 140 pages. So how many pages are left? That will be so what we have done. Okay, try to solve this in this way. Rimu read 1/5 of 1/5 or 1/1 into 2 by 5 into 2 equals to 2/10 part of the book. If she reads further 40 pages, she would have read 7/10 page of the book. Okay, it states that 40 pages in part is this one. Just subtract it, and so 5/10 of total pages is 40. So the total pages will be 40 divided by 1/5. So it will be 200 pages. If she has read 2/10 part of the book, then she left with 8/10 part of the book. Okay, so the number one of pages which are left, it will be 160 pages. Just try to do it again by just simply writing it, or try to see this answer again and try to do it yourself, so that these kinds of sums will be done easily. Okay, the next one. Okay, let's go a little further. I am not discussing more about the story sums. Let's do the simplifications again. So in this simplification, just try to remove all the points and then try to calculate it. Okay, so this calculation will be look like this. Okay, so these are the kind of examples of simplifications which we use often. Okay, now come to the converting fraction. These are easy one. Okay, so these fractions can be these decimal numbers can be all easily turned into a fraction, just like 0.83 can be turned into 83/100, 0.95 can be turned into 95/100, and then we can use cancellation. Okay, convert mixed numbers to decimals. These can be done easily, you can do it yourself. Okay, now yes, we are almost finished this chapter. Okay, convert fraction into decimal, divide numerator by denominator, keep adding zeros until 0. Yes, this is just a general reminder. Okay, just like in these examples, you can do it like this. And the last, if you have any doubt, just let us know in the comment section. And thank you all guys, and we are completing the video here.